This is John, Vintage Fisherman. Got a reel here. I just got through with a reel. I've never done one before. Well, let's keep it going. Here's one I haven't done. This is a Shimano Triton 200G. Don't know the gear ratio on this reel because I don't see it on here anywhere. If you know it, post it. Good looking reel. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I picked it up in like a box of reels. I got this one at a Speedmaster. I'll be doing it soon. But let's go ahead and take it apart and see what it's made of. Don't know a lot about these reels. I can't say that I've ever actually tore one down. It looks very similar to the Speedmaster. I think the difference is the gear ratios, to be honest with you. We'll see how hard it is to tear it down. It's got a ton of parts in it. Just looking at the schematic, I looked at it last night. Looks like it's got plenty going on. It just feels dry. Right off the bat, you can tell it compared to an Ambassador, it's kind of spindly. You know, it doesn't. I don't know. It don't have that same feel to it the Ambassador does. Let's take the palm side off first. I kind of think that's kind of how it's going to go. We'll see. These are just regular old sheet metal screws. They're not machine screws. That right there is not a big fan of that. They can strip out really easy. I guess you're not going to really fight a big, huge fish on this, so it is what it is. A couple things I do like about it. That just fell out. There's a bearing, you know, beveled washer. Here's the spool. There is a gear here that's removable that drives the cog. I don't know if I ever really need to take that apart. Well, why not? Keep all my sections of parts together. So to get the drive cog out for the level line, you have to take the spring for the bait clicker off. Shim, screw, and the gear. There's a bushing down in here. Let's see if it comes out. Hold of it or not. No, I think it stays as part of the cover. No, it comes out. It's coming out. There we go. All right, so you have a shim at the bottom underneath the bushing. Clean that bushing really well. That stud that the gear rides on comes out. So there we go. There's your palm plate side. Let's go over here to the gear side. That I keep everything together as best I can. That side wasn't difficult. There's nothing there that excites me. I think that'll all go back together pretty easy. Let's see how complicated this is. appears to be stuck. I sure hope I don't have to take those two off. All right, there's your adjuster. There's a spring underneath that. Well, what we'll do is we'll loosen them up a little bit. Yes, so they have to come off. This is going to be interesting. I'm wondering what holds all this mess together up under here. Okay, cover comes off. The eccentric. I'm not going to bother to take that out. It looks clean. It's not corroded. Just lubricate it really good. Well, look at here. This looks pretty simple. So we had a bearing. We had a concave washer. We have a convex washer. We have another concave. We have another convex. Leave the main gear can come off at any time. All right, you got a really thick washer for the press plate. Dig these out. Typical Shimano drag here. So you've got, I'm sliding all my parts around. This goes in between. Those ears go down into the gear. This is your prototypical Shimano drag setup. Drag is smoked. Not gonna lie, it's pretty ugly. Not sure why. There we go. Small washer underneath. You got one more washer. Oh, stabbed myself in the finger. And then the gear goes in between. Pay attention. This cog or anti-reverse gear goes like that. Really can't get it wrong, folks. It's going to go one. It's only going to work one way. Is what I'm trying to say. That comes out. It's made a lot like the TLDs. It's real as it's a clone of a TLD. To be honest with you, as far as how this works, I don't say clone because it's all Shimano, right? But bushing looks like it just pops out of there. Cleaned. And then to get this one out, so it's a one bearing reel is all I've seen so far. Out here on the outer edge, one bearing. I could take this off of here, but there's really no point. It's just a bushing under there. I'll clean that up. Probably the most fragile thing on these Shimano reels is that cap right there. Do not over tighten that when you put it back together. And mark my words, this dummy here will over tighten it and snap it. I do have one extra. They're hard to come by. There is a shim. Get a small screwdriver. These Shimanos have a shim. You know, you need more small parts to lose. There it is. We're talking small. That shim goes up under that cap. You've got them out. Hard to get a hold of that dog. Huh. impossible to get a hold of that dog. That don't want to come out. There it goes. There's the dog. Now we can take this snap ring out. Careful with it, don't lose it. Finger over it. That sucker is in there. Put all the level line parts over here. You got a shim underneath the E-clip, and your worm gear comes out. Tube's got to come out somehow or another. Yeah. Oh, I see how it works. Okay, so that top guide comes out. How this thing works here. There we go. All right, there's a bushing on each side of it. Out. That. Then the tube might be twisted out of there. So that's, I'm gonna go ahead and just for the fun of it, and go ahead and take this out and clean this bushing good. Why not? That's the last thing to take off this reel. Watch me lose the E-clip. And Shimano E-clips are a different size than the Ambassador clips, by the way. There's the shaft. E-clip and shim. And the bushing pops right out. That's the whole reel. That's it. I'll clean it up and I'll be right back. Triton 200G. All right, I'm back. I've got this reel cleaned up. This is a Triton 200G. It kind of reminds me of the Speedmaster, but it's not the Speedmaster. So let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Got a little bit of time here. This bushing goes back in, comes in from the inside. And I suppose you can get bearings for this reel. I don't know. Then you've also got bushing goes in right here. That in. Spin a little bit. I'm doing this with, I've got a schematic over here, but I'm just kind of going fast, to be honest with you. There we go. Now, your handle shaft comes in from the bottom or from the front of the reel, and then you've got Maybe I should look at the schematic. That's the Speedmaster. Hang on. I have a schematic. I'm not sure if it's exactly the right reel or not. Oh me. It's a horrible view. Yeah, it does have a number 32. 32 says spacer. Number 31, bushing. Number 30, that 33 should be an E-clip. Drive shaft retainer. Isn't that a fancy way to say E-clip? Okay, so I guess it does take that. Yeah, I don't remember it being that loose on there. Y'all are out there saying, look, dude, you're supposed to know how to build these things. I think what it is the bushing's not seated all the way, and that's why the spacer's not in there all the way. Remember, I wasn't going to take that out of there. Then I got this wild hair to take it out. Now I'm wishing I just left it. I hope I don't lose this E-clip because it's really talking tight quarters down in here. All right. And we'll give that a little drop of oil. Okay. Put jack plate in. I do have a drag on order for this reel, but I have no idea how long it's going to be before it gets here. Put the jack plate in like that. And you've got your, run out of room here to sit stuff. Got your yoke. Well, the yoke's got two little bevel cuts. They go back towards the jack plate. So your pinion, and I did look at these drags, folks. They're not bad. I think we can go with what we got. I'll have spares. Or I can go back and put them in. It's not a hard job. See what we got there. Now, the pretty sure that went like, yeah, it goes like that. Your anti-reverse dog slips over. The spring slips over. And I left the spring on the dog because it won't come off without really prying on it, so you don't need to worry about that. It sits on there like that. And then you got this star that goes in like that. See, so when it goes clickety click, there you go. That's how your anti-reverse works. Get some drag grease out here. I found the one drag was looked like it was smoked. It was just grease on it. Shimano does grease their drags from the factory. Maybe on some of the larger game reels they don't. They do on these smaller reels. Put that in, mesh those gears. That slides down in like that. First drag washer with the ears on it. It will go in with the ears down in those grooves. Then you get a keyed washer. And then here's that blue washer. And then here's the other eared washer, and it goes with the ears. See how they're bent at a 90-degree angle? They go down. And you get another drag washer. So when I get the new washers in, I'll probably just throw them in my Shimano box. If I ever get another one of these reels in, it'll get that. And then you got the thick metal washer, keyed washer goes on top of your press washer. And then it got this stack. They oppose each other, form like a spring. And I found out in a really cool way that these spring washers work on a pin 12W and 12. So I've got another of these reels coming. I ordered just for parts, and then I was able to actually get the parts from Shimano. So I've got another one of these reels coming, and that's why I'm actually rebuilding this reel. I bought it for parts also for a pin. That's how I roll. I think we're good to put this back together. We'll put some grease on these gears, of course. It looks like a complicated reel. There's a lot of little parts, but it's not too bad. I also pack some grease down on that jack plate where it meets the yoke so that slides on and off of there smoothly. This sometimes is a pain in the ass to get lined up. I think it goes on like that. Gunk up in there. I hand scrub a lot of my parts, and I sometimes miss a little bit. I believe we're good. Just got to get that. There we go. Popped right in place. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. You got 4 long screws. And you got 2 short screws. Let's get us a Phillips head. Long screws in first. I'm a big fan of the Speedmaster. I've never had one of these Triton. This is a pretty old reel, I think. Now I found out that the really old reels have a metal free spool lever, but I don't know. This one's got plastic on it, but I feel like this is a pretty old reel. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this reel. I think I'm just gonna hang on to it for a little bit and think on it. I like the fact it's got a lot of plastic. It won't rust too bad if I want to use it for something on the surf, but I really don't know how well it's going to cast because it's working. Okay. Because there's not okay. I'll just go ahead and say it. I like mag control. My thumb just isn't great, but anyway, sometimes. And the less frustration when I'm fishing, the better. Get that started. That's the only cast control you have, is that right there. Now, let's see. We got a washer goes on there. We're going to give the main shaft a little bit of wool there. All right. Handle. Give that just another little dab of grease. I said gold there. This is just to keep everything from corroding, folks. A little tighten. You got your screw retainer, so you have to kind of adjust that nut there where that screw retainer, or nut retainer, pardon my language. I swear I've had coffee this morning. You have to have that nut retainer lined up or you won't be able to line this hole up here for that retainer. There you go. All right. That's looking pretty good. Okay, your spool pretty much just slides up in here. The spool on these reels go in from the palm side, which most reels are like that. Let's lubricate both of those bushings really well. Okay, and that's that. All right, don't need to drag grease. Let's put this side together. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty dumb. Okay, guess what I forgot to do? I got to put the level line on. Yeah. So I got to take all that back apart. Hang on. See, I don't edit anything. I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy. Hang in there though. We're gonna be really good taking one of these reels apart and putting it back together by the time I get done. All right. I was sitting there thinking something's not right, and I look down and see the level line sitting there. And on this reel, yeah, you gotta have it all the way apart to put the level line. It's not bad at all. Just got a couple of screws. Not bad. We got the 6 screws to come back out. We'll come back to that. Hold that thought. Take the 2 center screws out. Now, these are screws into plastic, so don't freaking mega torque these things down, folks. Just try to use good even torque and just run them down where they're snug. They're not going anywhere. That's what I like about this reel and don't like about this reel. It's got enough plastic where it shouldn't corrode very easily in salt water, but it's also got a lot of plastic where it's not a good solid metal filling frame on it under a hard fight, But everything's a trade-off, Set that aside. I'm gonna go ahead and take those 2 springs out because I think I'm gonna have to take the main gear back off. Well, proof that I'm not perfect. Now I can get to it. Okay. All right, let's see how this goes. We know that this has to go back in from this side. This is your line guide. And it just slides up in there like that. Okay. And then this one goes in, there's a slot cut in the tube. There's a slot cut right there. This will go in, well, you can do it like this, actually, I think. I don't want to cooperate. It won't go all the way in there. It's got to sit in there. Before I put that in there, I got to remember to put this on. Get it close. This close. It's a little bit trickier than an ambassador, for sure. And then you've got two bushings, which are identical, that go in from each side and center that up. Just push them in, spin them till they lock. And then your worm gear goes in, bushing or a shim that goes on this side, and that wasn't so bad now, was it? All the sit back in place. Right one for it. All right, we'll try it. Looks like it fits fine regardless. Trying to fly on me. Woo, came close. Notice that shim just doesn't want to center itself on that shaft very good. Maybe after it runs for a little bit, it will. Something like that. We'll come back to all this over here, but okay, now you got your dog goes up in there, and it slid right into place. This little bitty shim, you have to put it in there, just kind of get it on your finger, and if you can see that very good. Now here's where everybody makes a mistake on the Shimanos. This little bitty cap is just it's the Achilles heel of this reel. When you tighten it down, watch, I hope I don't break it. You can't even put an inch-pound of torque on that. If you go any further than that right there, it will break. Trust me. Now let's go back to this side and straighten this. Oh, you. I'll let it slip out on me. That'll hold it. I'll put it in last. Okay, let's put the dog back on it. The spring goes over top of this. Then your star on your first friction washer gear. Bead washer, blue washer with the steel washer with the tabs, then your last washer. Got your concave, convex, opposing beveled washers. Shim bearing, you got an open side of the bearing and a shielded side. Put the shielded side out. Now, put this thing back. See it moving that. Something else too. Give that just a little piece. Okay. It feels like it went together good. Let's go ahead and put some screws. The plastic cap on the level line pawl is they use pretty much the same one on all their Shimano uses the same one on all the reels. So you should be able to get one. I have found them. I think I got the last one from Dad's old tackle. I think has them. Springs. Oh my gosh, John. We're going to wear the screws out, taking them in and out. And y'all probably sitting there watching saying, hey, John, you forgot the screws. Okay. All good and fun. All right, John. Let's get the springs back on. That's why it wasn't acting right when I was throwing the lever. There. Yeah, see? Okay. All right. Well, don't forget the springs if you have to take it back apart. I swear it sounds like somebody's got a pressure washer running this morning outside. It's awful early for that. It's like 6 o'clock, maybe 7 in the morning on a Saturday. My neighborhood's good for that, though. Folks like to work around here. They'll get out and work in their yard. I know a guy up the street. He mows the grass when it's snowing. Saying. I have another neighbor who works nights, and he mows his grass at night. Whatever. All right. Let's try this whole thing again. This goes through. This is your little guide. Now we got. I'll put the handle on last. Okay. Make sure I didn't leave anything else out over here. Let's put this side of the reel together. You got a shim that goes in the very bottom. This is a bushing reel. It only has one bearing that's on the handle shaft. I'm not sure. If I was going to put a bearing in a reel, it doesn't make sense why it would be on the handle shaft. Why not put it on the spool, you know? But anyway, spool is what's going to spin. You got this other bushing that goes over here for level line cog. It gets a screw at the top of it. Okay. Then you got this spring for the bait clicker. It's a little bit of a bear sometimes. You got to kind of pop it on both sides of that bait clicker and start your, oh, I see something I forgot. Start your screws. Imagine that. I keep forgetting stuff today. That's the theme of today is what am I going to forget the rest of the daggum day? Here's something else I will forget because it fell off the shaft just now. Okay, let's get that screw started. And then my other screw went flying. There it is. Let's get it started. What I forgot is the shim. It is right there. Screw goes in. Okay. They probably call it a spacer. I'd call it a shim. All right, let's oil it or give it a little bit of go fast. On the bait clicker, I always give it just a little bit of grease where it slides back and forth. Okay. Now, let's not leave the spool out. And then cover. Something's not working. Right there. Why is that? Why is it acting that way? Interesting. Oh, I think it was going up into the bushing all the way. Real possibility. Nope, that's not what it is. Yeah, everything's gonna keep falling off on me, unfortunately, because I gotta get this thing. It's not wanting to go on there. It's not meshing. Not like this. Oh, it's acting really strangely. And something's not lined up right, is it? Interesting. That's too tight. No, that's not what it is. Uh, I really don't know why I don't want to go back together, but it's not. It's nothing is showing it shouldn't go back together. It's something's holding it like right down in here. Yeah. Uh, this is odd. I really don't know what's keeping it apart. That doesn't make sense. Um, there is nothing to keep this reel from going together at all. Nothing. I don't want to pop together. Nothing is out of line. The spool's turning. It's almost like this little knob that goes up in here doesn't fit anymore. Oh, there it goes. All right, I must not have been holding my mouth right. Lord have mercy, this reel. You know what? I'm gonna sell it. I just don't like it. It's gonna go on my eBay store at some point. I'm just spouting off. I do have a Speedmaster over here I need to tear down. I will keep it. I like the Speedmaster. Not a big fan of this Triton. This is more of a lower end reel in my opinion, but somebody out there is screaming at their phone right now saying, that's not a low end reel, you asshole. Well, I don't know. I'm just not a big, huge fan. Let's put the concave convex washers back in. This one will go like this. Bearing that. And R. I love the TLDs. I do fish with, I've got a TLD 15, I think it is, that we occasionally will fish on the piers. I did sell my TLD 20 and 22 speed. They're just a bit big. I had a 2 speed that was freaking awesome. Beast of a reel. Had the wheel tackle. Game over frame. Which I think they're out of business now. But it was a really sweet reel. I did some trading. I traded for an international that I really wanted, so it is what it is. Now to line that up, you want to put the point of the nut right at that hole, and it should be just right. Okay, I'll take a deep breath now and exhale because it's all together. Free spool is working. It's engaging nicely. Drag seems to be working. Oh, yes. It's definitely good. Let's get the full tension. Good starting point. I adjust them down to where you can barely feel a little shake in the spool with your thumb. That's pretty close. That's too much. There we go. All right, let's rub that all down, get all that excess oil off of it. I'll tell you who will buy this reel for me up here in a heartbeat are the catfishermen. They love these can style reels with a good bait clicker. You know, they got like 25 rods and reels sticking out on their boat. They want to know which one's going off. Sometimes they like different reels. That's got a nice bait clicker. Listen to that. That's good and loud. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's oil this up. Okay. So this one's made where when you cast, your level line pays out the line for you. And that's not bad, folks. That's pretty slick. For a non-bearing reel, basically. If I had line on there, that thing would spin for a long time. There's no weight on that spool to give it any inertia. So there it is. it was a little frustrating. Oh, you gotta laugh at yourself, you know. I mean, it is what it is. There is a Shimano Triton 200G. Nice looking reel, still in great shape. Got Neptune on the side of it there. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'll figure that out. Well, this is John, Vintage Fisherman. Please like my videos and subscribe to my channel. I'm growing. I'm over 300 subscribers. Picked up a couple more subscribers today. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for stopping in and watching and sticking around. It's John, Vintage Fisherman. Talk to you later.